Princess Peach, you're so cool! Welcome to the HMK Super Mario Brothers movie review. Oh, that actually rhymed. I actually didn't mean that. What's up, you guys? It's your boy HMK once again, and I gotta tell you guys, the Super Mario Bros. Movie is such a blast. It's a good time, and in my opinion, honestly, it's the best video game film adaptation out there. Not taking anything away from the aspects like, the Sonic movies that came out and, Detective Pikachu, but this is it. This is going to be a spoiler-free review, and I will not be having any footage from the movie itself because I don't want Illumination or Universal or Nintendo giving me the business, but that's all I need to say. In a general sense, like I said before, this is the best adaptation of a video game to a film, and also it is an incredibly solid family film, which I'm going to be seeing multiple times, and it's one of those movies that you can see multiple times. First and foremost, I had to thank my amazing friend Fifi for, watching the movie together in this big theater. It was awesome. It was such a good time being surrounded by all these gamers, all these Super Mario fans. And it's truly a treat for those that love video games, and it's truly a treat for those that love, fun, frantic, fast-paced movies. And this movie is incredibly fast-paced, but in my opinion, a lot of people have been using that as a detraction from it, but it works really well for Super Mario. The movie clocks in around an hour and a half, but a lot of people thought it was a lot shorter because of that, and an hour and a half is a good amount of time for a movie, but since the movie moves at such a consistently fast rate, a lot of people thought, oh, I wish the movie was longer. I'm like, an hour and a half is not bad, but even with that sense, it works really well for this movie because there were, even in the slow spots of the Super Mario Bros. Movie, it was something that you stayed on the edge of your seat for, right? And it's something like, oh, if you blink, you missed it in terms of the movie story, in terms of, all of the music that's referenced in the game, and all the physical references that you could see throughout the game. And I say game because, here's the thing. I'm probably going to be saying that a lot during this review, but, it's such a faithful adaptation. It felt like I was watching or, playing a game without playing a game when it comes to the Super Mario Bros. Movie. So I'm going to be saying that a lot when it comes to bleeding together all the aspects of the Mario games that are referenced in the film, and the film, looking a lot like a game and whatnot. And I understand that a lot of people are abrasive when it comes to the Super Mario Bros. Movie in terms of its pacing and its story, because Illumination was heading this movie, which, if you guys don't know, if you don't know, they're the ones behind Despicable Me and the Minions franchise, right? But other than the fact that obviously you could tell a little bit from the animation, which is gorgeous, by the way, and the fact that Illumination is in the beginning of the film, you probably wouldn't have noticed that this is a work from Illumination when it comes to the writing, the heart, and the jokes that you find throughout the film, right? This films is just nothing short of incredible in all facets. In terms of the voice work, because I know a lot of people have been asking, a lot of people have been wondering about that when it comes to certain voice actors, voicing certain characters throughout the movie, specifically Chris Pratt as Mario. And I can tell you this right now. I love Chris Pratt as an actor, and I loved him when he was playing Emmett in the Lego movie, right? But when it came to him playing Mario, I was a bit like, well, can he do Mario? And then looking at the trailers, those trailers, I'm telling you, those trailers do no justice to a ton of aspects to the movie. And Chris Pratt as Mario, 10 minutes into the movie, any type of worry I had or anyone else had melts away after 10 minutes. He did a phenomenal job as Mario. Everyone did a phenomenal job as their characters. Charlie Day as Luigi, Miss Anya as Peach, Jack Black as Bowser. He did indeed steal the show, and Keegan-Michael Key as Toad and everyone else. But I would say even though everyone did an amazing job as their character, I would say the weakest one in that movie is probably Seth Rogen as Donkey Kong, because it was Seth Rogen as Donkey Kong, not Seth Rogen trying to be Donkey Kong, right? So that was the only, I would say minus in terms of the voice work, but he still did a phenomenal job, and he was hilarious as Donkey Kong. And yes, he does the laugh, so just make sure you keep your eye out for that. But other aspects in terms of the movie, like the music in that movie is phenomenal because like they rearrange and recompose and like remix a ton of notable songs from the Mario games and other Nintendo games. Keep your eyes out for that, or I should say keep your ears out for that. And sometimes it was just such a beautiful rendition where I'm like, wow, this remix is really, really nice. Like, I'm not gonna spoil what song plays, but I mean, you're probably gonna have an idea. When Mario first meets Toad, the remix playing during their conversation was just so nice. It really, like, when you hear the music and the sounds in this movie, despite, you know, the movie itself in terms of like the animation, the writing, everything you see, it just turns back the clock in my head, you know, being a kid booting up a Nintendo system to play any Mario game like Super Mario 64, Super Mario Brothers, Super Mario Sunshine, Super Mario Galaxy, you know, new Super Mario Bros. And all that stuff is just, it was just a joy to behold and experience, right? And the movie is incredibly funny. I was smiling ear to ear throughout the entire movie, and there are some very heartfelt moments in the movie where I just like, you know, I shed a tear, and I actually shed a tear after the fact because there's something incredibly meta in the movie itself that a lot of people aren't pointing out, but I'm not going to point it out here because it's considered like a little bit of a spoiler, so I'm not going to point that out, right? But like in that sense, a lot of people, when it comes to detracting the movie, says that the movie's plot or the movie, or like, you know, it's visually appealing, but it doesn't really, you know, hold out on its own when it comes to what's going on in the movie. It's like, oh, Mario saves the day, blah blah blah. But the thing is, I feel that a lot of people missed it because of the pacing, right? The movie does actually have a couple of beautiful messages in it, but a lot of people, I feel like it's lost in translation because the movie moves a bit fast, right? And those, you know, messages deals with knowing your worth, you know, the value and knowing who your family is, and of course, never backing down, never giving up, right? And like, in that sense, obviously it's a Super Mario Bros. Movie, but when, you know, tunnel visioning on the story of Mario in this movie trying to save Luigi, it's just a very beautiful thing when you put everything together in terms of his character, in terms of his relationship with Luigi, and like everything that is like in his way or helping him along the way to save Luigi. And like I'm telling y'all, you're gonna love. You're in for a treat. And there are a boatload of references that like, I feel that's the only, in my opinion, this is the only problem of the movie. And it's one of those problems, and it's a type of problem where it's like too much of a good thing under the weight of another good thing. So it's a good thing, but it's also a problem, in which the movie itself is actually like, it's super good, but there are a ton of references in the movie that a lot of people I know for a fact are going to be noticing or trying to notice or trying to find that in itself, when it comes to some people, will take away from paying attention to the actual movie, if you get what I'm saying, right? You're going to be looking for these references or, you know, noticing these references, but by the time that you're like processing how cool references it is, we're on to the next scene. And then you're like, oh, wait, whoa, what happened, right? So I feel that's like the only problem of the movie. But if you want to go to the movie once, enjoy the movie as a movie, awesome. Go to the movie a second time, now that you've watched it, and try to find all the references. That's a strat, right? I already know someone that's going to the movie multiple times, like on their 7th time, trying to figure out all of the musical references in the movie, because the composer of the movie said that there's like 130 references within the movie itself to the Mario games and other games. And I'm like, okay, see, that's me. I want to do that. I want to try that. And honestly, this movie is great. And when it comes to like a lot of the minuses and the bad reviews and what people are saying about the movies, like, oh, the story is flat. It's not. The story is too fast paced. I understand that, but I felt it was like a beautiful pace for an hour-and-a-half movie. When it comes to a video game movie, it gets to the points it needs to very fast, and like it's snappy, right? It's like one of those movies where, like, I'm telling you right now, you better take your bathroom break beforehand. You cannot take one during the movie, right? But it's not that long of a movie, but it's a good length for a movie. And then other aspects when it comes to Chris Pratt's voice as Mario, I am telling you, believe me, a lot of people need to apologize to that man. He did a phenomenal job as Mario. And then when you find out the Charles Martinet, what do you call it? His cameo roles in the movie, you're gonna You're gonna love that. The movie does have multiple end credit scenes, so stay tuned for that. And then a lot of people are saying that like, oh man, Peach is too much of a girl boss. Blah, blah, blah. By the way, first of all, Peach, she's caked up. That's one. Two is that the previews kind of lean towards her being too much of a girl boss, which in my opinion is not a bad thing at all. You know, I don't know why people are complaining by that in the first place. And second off, when you actually watch the movie, she acts the way she does in the games when it comes to the Mario RPGs and her playable roles, right? So that's not an issue at all either, right? And when it comes to every other issue that I'm seeing with this movie, it's just not. There's a reason why the critic score is like 50% and the audience review score is sitting at 96 to 98%, right? Because this movie is a genuinely good movie that deserves your time, that deserves your attention, and deserves your praise. And I cannot wait to see what's going to be next when it comes to the Super Mario Bros. Movie, because this movie is doing insane at the box office, and you already know that a sequel, possible spin-offs, and more in the Nintendo universe may be fast-tracked. We'll have to wait and see. What would I give a final score to the Super Mario Bros. Movie? I would give it a 9.5 out of 10. I absolutely loved it. Go watch it. I'm gonna watch it multiple times, and it is truly, in my opinion, the greatest video game movie adaptation ever. And that's saying something because I love the Sonic movies, right? I adore those Sonic movies. And it is truly an incredible family movie on its own right, even if it wasn't adapted from a video game. So go for it. It's good. It's grand. You will not be disappointed, especially if you are a Mario fan. So until the next video, until the next breakdown, I need to go watch that movie again. I'll see you later. This has been your boy HMK, and I'll check you guys later.